Can you keep a secret?
Today, our expert panel will be covering 6 aspects of media influences on tourism demand. We have Ankit here who will be discussing media coverage of sporting events. Sunny will cover government controls on media. Shahab will discuss media coverage of violence and terrorism. Sham will discuss media coverage of health concerns. Sissy will talk to us about destination branding, and I will cover social media. We'll begin now with coverage from our expert correspondent Ankit, who will discuss media coverage of sporting events.
Thanks, Kerry. Sports events are now playing an important role in many destination marketing plans. So, it is necessary to promote both the mega event as well as the destination to reach the targeted tourists. For this, event marketers should plan promotional campaigns. This can be done by telecasting the important sporting events like the Olympic Games. This is an effective way to promote a tourist destination. The Olympic Games offer a unique media view with telecasts reporting of the sports events and also the host destination, its landscape, attractions, culture and people. Although media exposure of sport events may not have a direct effect on the intention to visit, but the television coverage can have a positive or negative impact on the way the host city is perceived. It was expected that hosting the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games would boost up China's tourism along with the sports tourism industry significantly. There was, however, negative global coverage about China and Beijing in the press about their relations with Tibet and the protests presented along the torch relay route, as well as the doubts over the air quality in Beijing. But also due to the extensive media coverage, Beijing was put up on the world map and it grabbed everyone's attention as a distinct destination image. Media coverage can have both positive and negative perceptions, but it also gives destinations the chance to gain a worldwide exposure and advertising opportunities.
Thank you so much, Ankit. While media coverage of sporting events can have a large-scale impact on a destination, so can the government, particularly when the government controls what information is shared with the media. Sunny, our expert on government influences on the media, will now discuss this further. Sunny?
Thank you, Kerry. Can intense media ownership be translated into tourism influence? In the case of the United States, the private companies control most of the media. The most of discussion on the media ownership in USA focuses on the possibility of government censorship. In contrast, in some one-party nations such as China, North Korea, the state has complete control over the media. Media has a huge influence on the tourism industry. Firstly, it will dictate the development of tourism. For example, in North Korea, the media is completely controlled by the government, so it is not allowed to release anything insulting the leader. In terms of tourism, taking photos is forbidden to involve something that depressing a negative image. More than often, the tourists are asked to delete depressing images from their cameras, which may have an impact on other tourists. Therefore, North Korea is not a frequent tourism destination. Only 1,500 Western tourists visiting each year. On the other hand, the state ownership of media can protect the destination image. Tourism industry significantly contributes to the economy in Thailand. As a result, the government covers some negative image of this destination. The following one is a banned advertisement of this country. With the widespread of internet, the information is becoming more transparent, so the influence of government is becoming weaker.
Thank you so much, Sunny. That's fascinating. When violence and terrorism disrupts a nation, media coverage of these issues can greatly impact travelers' perceptions of a destination. Shahab will now discuss this further. Over to you, Shahab.
Thank you, Kieran. The terrorist attack of September 11th in the US exposed the vulnerability of tourism industry to changing perception of travel safety and security. The events of September 11th and subsequent policy measure confirmed that an act of terrorism, although not a new phenomenon, may have a substantial impact on the destination image. Nevertheless, just as significant as the actual terrorist attack is the role of the media in reporting the events and therefore influencing public and political perception of the relative safety of travel and of destinations. Despite the broad recognition of the role of the media in influencing tourist and destination images, the extent to which media shapes tourism images in the context of terrorism is relatively unrepresented. The crackdown on foreign journalists in Iran pushed the role of social media in reporting the country's election crisis front and center, with foreign media outlets no longer able to rely on their own people on the ground in Tehran. Eyewitness reports from ordinary Iranians taking part in the protests became even more important. It's the first sign that news agencies have provided a service using the social media and a sign of how profoundly the internet is changing the way people access and create the news. Some of the images may not be pretty, but they convey some of the immediacy of what is happening every day on the streets of Iran. Over the time of the protests, video sharing websites like YouTube were being inundated with videos of the latest protests. The biggest stir was being created by the graphic video of a young woman dying after the shooting during the protest in central Tehran. The video, too graphic to be found here, featured a woman called Neda in the final moments of life. This is the beginning of cyber citizen journalism, and here we see that the media has limited influence on what is being released to reach the audience. Although masses have other sources to get their news from, therefore it will put the media under more pressure to give the correct and precise news to the audience, if not undermines its credibility. Also, the media usually stereotypes countries and destinations. Through the mass media and what we have seen from Iran, the stereotype of media has gradually decreased.
Thank you so much, Shahab. Similar to terrorism and violence, health concerns can also impact travelers' desires to visit a destination. Shem will tell us a little bit more about this.
Thank you, Craig. Well, mass media plays a very important role in broadcasting information. It impacts huge on tourist behavior. Destinations are always prone and at risk of getting contagious disease. Mass media inform the masses and influence the perception of the audience. Tourists are often highly influenced by mass media. The outbreak of April 2009 in Mexico, which was covered by the media, the H1N1 disease was severe and contagious. Swine flu was a common concern in many countries. It was first seen in Mexico, and it resulted in the loss of $57,000 in a day. Due to close booking in the businesses, by May 1st,